Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tiffany Beaston from Beauty and the Beastons, and today I have a super easy crockpot video for you. All of the meals in this video are dump and go meals, meaning you just throw everything in the crockpot, leave it, and it's done. I also, besides showing you the actual recipe, I will be showing you what it looks like when it's cooked as well. All of these recipes are insanely easy, they are affordable, and they are healthy. Today's video is also going to be a collab with Kelly from Kelly's Corner. You are going to love her videos. She makes similar style content to what I do. She also has 2 boys and is currently pregnant with her first little girl, so we have that in common as well. So make sure when you're done here that you go ahead and check out Kelly's video. She's also doing dump and go meals. We're each doing 5 dump and go crockpot meals. I will have her video linked in the description box below, but let's get right into it. So believe it or not, the first thing that we are making is cheesesteaks. I have never made a cheesesteak in my crock pot before, and I was seriously missing out. So my husband likes just the regular steak cheesesteaks, and I like chicken cheesesteaks. So today I'm making both of those. So for this recipe, you're going to need 1 onion, 1 pepper, 1/3 cup of beef broth, a teaspoon of steak seasoning, a half teaspoon of garlic, and some salt, and then your meat of choice. So if you are doing just all the regular steak, you're going to need 2 pounds of beef sirloin. I'll show you that in a second. But if you're doing it how I'm doing it, just do the small package of beef sirloin and then 1 large chicken breast. So the recipe that I just gave you is for if you're making, just all steak. However, if you're making chicken and steak, just split those up equally. So half and half into each. I'm using 1/4 cup of beef broth in each. I know beef broth with chicken, but it turned out delicious. This recipe is going to be a new regular in our house. My husband said this was his favorite recipe out of all 5. We're letting each of these cook for only 2 hours on high because there's not a lot in the crock pot. And that was honestly the perfect amount of time. If you have more meat in your crock pot, you're going to need a little bit of a longer time. But this is great if you're like coming home and just need a little while to get situated. Throw this in for 2 hours and you have an easy and delicious dinner that everyone will love. I had actually some leftover chicken from my sandwich, and my husband ate the rest, and he couldn't decide which one was his favorite because he loved them both so much. Once everything's all shredded, just add your choice of cheese to the top and let it melt for a second. And we are just using plain old American cheese. This next recipe was the easiest recipe of all of them. It took barely any time, and it was my personal favorite of the 5, and that is ranch, chicken, potatoes, and green beans. And it is so easy because that's all you need, and then 1 packet of ranch seasoning. So The exact measurements are 1.5 pounds of chicken, 5 to 6 potatoes. I just used a bag of fresh green beans because I like a little crunch. If you don't like a crunch, just use 2 cans of green beans. And then, like I said, 1 packet of ranch seasoning. And then you're going to cook that on high for 4 hours or low for 6 to 8 hours, depending on your crock pot. And I say that because my crock pot cooks insanely fast. I have a question. Are you an Instant Pot or a crock pot type of person? I tried the Instant Pot once and it scared me. And the one thing that I really liked about the crock pot is that it just makes the whole house smell good. And I just love putting it on all day because, like I said, it smells delicious and tastes really good. I'm not against the Instant Pot, but if I had to choose, I would choose the crock pot. I wanted to show you also that I buy the large version of chicken, like the family size, and then I'll just save the rest in a bag for another meal that week because you actually save money doing it that way. And you can see how easy this is. I'm literally just taking it out and plating it. The chicken is so delicious. I don't want to use the M word, but it is the M word, and just really, really yummy. I'm definitely going to be making this again. I ate mine how it was, and Chris added some ranch dressing. So this next recipe is pulled apple cider chicken. I really liked this. It was something different, and I love like any kind of fall inspired dish right now. So apples, fall, you know. This we had as sandwiches. You can make it any way you want. When I saw the original recipe, which mine kind of differs from, they made like an apple slaw and made sliders with it, but we just added a little bit of barbecue sauce when it was done and had it as a sandwich. It was really, really good. It's a light, sweet apple taste, but it's delicious. You can serve it over rice or whatever other ideas you had. I also thought it would be really good inside of a baked sweet potato, but for this recipe, you are just going to need 2 Honeycrisp apples, 1 yellow onion, a teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cups of unsweetened apple cider, and you're going to use 2 pounds of chicken. So the first thing I'm going to do is just chop everything up. You literally just add everything to the crock pot, and the same thing, you're going to do that on 4 hours on high or low for 6 to 8 hours. You really do have to know your crock pot though. Like I said, mine cooks everything really, really fast. So I usually just do it high for 4 hours. And once it's done, you're just going to stir it around and the chicken will shred itself. I also want to mention that any of these recipes, you can use chicken breast or chicken thighs. Just make sure you're using the same weight for either. I really don't discriminate. I pretty much get whatever's on sale that week. Alright, so the next thing I'm making is a bean and sausage stew, and this is a really hearty, high protein, and like has a little bit of a spice to it, but you could definitely adjust that if you don't like spicy. But the things that you're going to need for this are 1 onion and 1 pepper, of course, like everything else in our recipes. Some celery. I use quite a bit because I like a lot of vegetables in my stew, but use however much you'd like. And then we're also going to need 3 cans of beans, so use whatever beans you like. I used what I had on hand, so I used 1 can of black beans, 2 cans of chili beans, and then you're also going to need some spices. So we're going to need 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of thyme, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and then a little bit of cayenne if you want that kick. If not, just leave that completely out. Also going to need 1 can of tomato paste. And here I'm using, this is sweet Italian chicken sausage, but you can use whatever kind of sausage you like. You're going to throw everything in. If you like a soupier type of consistency, just add 1 cup of broth, any type of broth you'd like to make it a little bit soupier. But throw everything in, do high for 4 hours or low for 6 to 8. And last but not least, we are making chicken and kale sweet potato soup. This is a very clean and fresh, super low carb soup. And like I said, all the ingredients are very simple and very clean. You're going to need 2 sweet potatoes. I'm just doing a very loose type of peel. I like a small amount of skin on all my potatoes, so this is just always how I peel my potatoes, leaving a tiny bit of skin on. You're also going to need 2 32-ounce boxes of chicken broth, and I have here some Italian seasoning, about 2 teaspoons, and then salt and pepper to taste, 1 pound of chicken, and then 2 cups of kale. You know the drill, high for 4 hours, low for 6 to 8. I also wanted to mention, in case you're new here, that all of my recipes are always going to be gluten-free unless they're pertaining to just the children, because my husband and I are gluten-free. I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and when I eat gluten, it adds inflammation to my thyroid that already has way too much scar tissue on it. So I've been gluten-free for about 9 years. I don't have celiac, which is where like a very bad gluten intolerance where it physically makes me sick. It just makes it so that my body cannot absorb nutrients as well and triggers my Hashimoto's disease. So that is why I'm gluten-free, since we get that question a lot. If you have Hashimoto's or have hypothyroid, I would definitely look up the connection if I were you. The reason that my husband is gluten-free is because the doctor originally told me to try going gluten-free for 1 month and see how I felt. That was the only true way to see, if it was affecting me or not. So I felt amazing. I lost a ton of weight, and I used to be like on heartburn medication. I didn't need my heartburn medication anymore. Just felt overall better. So that made Chris want to try it. He tried it, and he was like, yeah, I don't really feel that different. So when he went to go eat gluten again, he felt really sick and decided to stick to a gluten-free diet. So that is your answer. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed these easy, affordable, healthy meal ideas. These are awesome for any kind of weeknight, even not on a weeknight, even when I'm not busy. I just feel like there's nothing better than something that smells really yummy in the crock pot on a fall day with the windows open. just really makes me feel like I have my life together. So don't forget to check out Kelly's video. Again, I'll have that linked in the description box below, and tell her that I sent you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what type of meal video you want to see next. I was thinking about doing 5 sheet pan meals. What do you think about that one?